Hello everybody and welcome back to Party Bears Picnic, and we're going to be opening up another tasty treat. Today we're playing a different kind of game. Today we are playing a horror-based story game that involves kind of like a novel that you can pick different choices that change your storyline into the path of this fuzzy little friend of ours. And this game is called Tiny Bunny. Let's press new game and start right into this. This, from what I got told, is a five-part style game. So let's see how far I get into the first first part, and then we'll go from there. So let's dive right in. Huh, is that supposed to be like a windowsill or something? The wind clawed at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song wavered, all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneerly twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that had seen lots in its days, and seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. Oh, sorry guys. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green, thickened, gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whining, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves there was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy shellouts swaying in the wind couldn't be possible to do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. Oh. Yo, was that a fox? That's really cool, actually. Hey, put away your book. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look how slouched you are. Oh, yeah, true, that's right. Yeah, kids, remember that one. Don't read your books at the table. Play video games at the table. Best idea. Hide. Wait, I can actually hide? Is that an option? Or I'm gonna hide. That's interesting. I didn't protest and put the book away. Conan the Barbarian aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Okay. Ollie had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was astonished. She almost looked like a typical girl from a commercial. Sorry. Mom, you're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole into the plate with my eyes, as if it would make a porridge disappear. Oh, if it would make the porridge disappear. Haze obnoxious welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the glooming wind. The longer I waited, the colder and colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from the Countess Odyssey. I love that snow. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Or how could the Black Forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. What did I just say? I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this? Carved on the side of the table. Kyrian? Hey, that's my mom's name. I guess she carved out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar like that. Should I remind her about it? No, she's been in a bad mood lately. I imagined her being my age sitting underneath the table. I wonder, was my mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? I imagined Grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed where Ugly sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Tagla is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to steer what kind of beast you are. If you're a good sort, it won't abandon you in the times of trouble. If you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. That would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anyone, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without maddening screams until the late at night, without smashing dishes and mental occasions. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening to one another's conversation by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already bought a casket. Lovely. That's lovely. She called it her cute little funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was a black, unholstered with meat-colored materials on the side. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all of the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had died, but wonderfully look at their eyes. I crawled out from underneath the table. Oldly was then done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a sly woodland creature. I turned my gaze towards the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of the forest formed a picture of glass. Oldly, look, it's a fox. Where? It looked almost like an optical illusion. Things that they put on the back of students' hand notebooks. And a mixture of lines at the first glare. But if you were blur your vision a little bit, it looked underneath a certain angle. Not outside. On the window? Look, here's a nose, and here's a... Hey, eat up. Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. Ah, there it is. But it still doesn't look like one. I'm telling you, it does. Ah, it does. Stop it. You kids, I'll swear. Now I couldn't see the fox either. It's disappointing. Oh, it disappeared. It went away. Only the frosty pattern similar to be stretched out and nettle leaves kept creeping up on the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with a long, measured steps. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. Mom always asked jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stings." This was a long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and winning comebacks were every day occurred. Oakley covers her ears when she hears something like that. What's the point of all this through the walls? It's all for your sake, Dad would reply. For your sake of your family. For our family. I was caught every second in fear of hearing the most dread of the deadliest word that started with a T. T-I-V-O. Not sure what actually that means. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into different families. Oh, I know what that word means now. Okay. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl on my window. You and your owl talked. You and your owl talk again? You said belovedly it was just me yesterday. Has anyone seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father of two still. Kern, please stop. Just let me rest ready in peace. Your keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a matter out of yourself and finish eating already. And the owl. There was no owl. But there was one. It had giant glowing eyes. Agla sprung up from her chair and placed her hands on little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of apples. Last year you had Bambi in your closet. Now this owl? But I saw it. Only sniffled, her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom, but I couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice? Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Allie pouted her lips and rebellious and rushed into the hallway. The staircase led to the second floor. Creaked. Mom gave Dad a struck look. Oh, look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left ringing with the keys he just found. A minute had passed. The theme song of The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was sorted an incredible worn-out cassette tape, which Dad already had glued back together. You can do that? I didn't know you can fix that like that. It was easy to fix objects by gluing them back together. For example, how do you fix a relationship? Mom moved into a living room. I was left alone. Astonishingly stealing glares at the window. Ugly had trouble sleeping ever since we moved out to this house. She would toss and turn, or curl up into a ball underneath the blanket. Sometimes she would jump in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons would take her mind off the troubles we had with moved and our parents. Oh, jeez. Yeah, now I understand why she's afraid. That is some creepy ass shit. And then Oakley said she saw the giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of this fears. Oakley refers to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After of an unsure make of my sister's words, what do you think of it, myself? Can nightmares be infectious? Just last night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple days left before the beginning of the new term. My imagination drew long, twisted hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures cut out using templates. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinking inside holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were hiding, looking at me from behind the flat, black silhouettes. Their cruel glares filled the icy snares, made me shiver from the head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? Stomp on me with their blighted shoes? Damn school, I can burn. What is that? Okay. Damn school can burn for all I care. I just wish for anything could happen. It doesn't really matter what I wanted there for badly. Oh, alright. I didn't want to see people who are just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up. I think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like glares. I made them an outsider or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawing hanging on the wall. I couldn't consider myself as a great artist, but Oakley begged me to hang it. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had, also enjoying my paintings, they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine my mom picking me up the phone, saying in a cold voice, "You got the wrong number." Or Anton is not around. I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds, just like me, listening to the howls of the invisible werewolves outside their windows. Invisible werewolves? I'm sorry, what the hell are you smoking? Maybe my new classmates would like me after all. But would they ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mother. My house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live at, a 9th-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbors drilling, mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from a big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was slightly and easy during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners of the closet, cobwebs, and underneath the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of the deceased family, their ashes eyes, were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusting trains were moaning, the attic was accompanied by noisy drafts. One could think that the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized, in fact, hearing music was already playing with a good while. Somehow, somewhere, at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind of a creaky old house, and my thoughts were too. I stood up, rushed to the window, wanted to reassure myself that the music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing in it there. Amidst the cold, snowy night, right? Whoa. That is some creepy shit. Someone was dancing in the fields. Black silhouettes. I could barely make it out, with the dark forest as the backdrop. They jump around, bask in the moonlight, bumped into snow, rolling around, clawing on the all fours. Stories about wolves playing underneath the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. Nah, that doesn't look like wolves. That looks like people in costumes. They stood upright, at times, circled around, holding hands, whipping up the snow, disappearing into shadows for a brief moment, and then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in a starlight abyss made my imagination go wild, making me obnoxious at the same time. Suddenly, the music had stopped. The dancing in the shadows froze in place, and I could swear, piercing me with their eyes. One of their silhouettes immediately partnered with the bizarre shadow carnival and spirited across the field with a giant leap. Oh god, that does not seem good. It glided on the squeaky snow without leaving any footprints until it devoured by the patch black shadow of my house, which became darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like a bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back towards my bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfect dark room and listened to some of the unwanted guests move and scrape around, looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at my front door. I jumped to the bed, covered myself with a blanket as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remember the funeral. My grandma was laying there, hands crossed on her chest, for facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held Grandma's casket. Wait, how big was this chair if her casket was holding it? Okay. Imagine these little creatures climbing up her head and pulling her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her wrinkly old eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets, and she'll be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me throughout the whole I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. And now, lying underneath the blanket and listening to squeals and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Buran, underneath the brilliant sun, in the sea of color blue, stands a cabin of wood. They lay lured on the ashen hair, from the spawn from the devil's lair, to fierce and always leave alone God's faithful servant named Aten. Evil leave this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from underneath the blanket and saw curtains waving like hangmen. And then the night doused me with a new portion of bowling terror. The sound scratched at my eardrums. It reality something or someone was scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at the wood, demanding to let me in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently, as if he was looking at someone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Oh God, that doesn't sound good. I hugged my knees, placing my shins between them, and drilled the door with my eyes, as if it was fiercely and weak before the might of darkness. And then, no, that's not good. The doorknob twitched slightly. Then it turned halfway, once, twice, after the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more, and then started clicking violently. My jaw clamped with fear, my finger clenched with the blanket. The door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains, and then, you'll see, the door was wide open. The darkness weathered inside the cavernous mouth of the doorway. Tony? It was a night itself by calling out to me, flapping its black wings and swilling with rustle hinges. It was trembling and stirred by the wind of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for one of the waves to come out of the gaping black hole. Tony? My abdomen tightened, and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tony, you asleep? Oh, crap. Oh, that's her. Okay, that started to creep the crap out of me. My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from my relief. Oakley, I'm not asleep. Did something happen? Oakley frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's there again, staring at me. Shoo her away. Shoo her away, Tony. Please? I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my... Wait, what? In my stomach, and I needed to calm down. Oakley down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's gonna harm you. Oakley sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me, but I was sure myself. I have an idea. Let's go to her room and watch a video of Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have a scary bird? The question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes, dancing fearfully under the moon? The darkness was climbing to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by my grandmother's old chants. It couldn't be satisfied with the feast of lard and long ashen hair. Tony, you coming? Yes, just a moment. Jesus Christ! What the Wait, was that a dream or was that actually real life? I was so confused. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Ugly and her owl in the morning. You could be visiting us here in the middle of nowadays. We didn't know anyone around here. Alright, so persistent. Take your time, like, we're coming. I felt extremely unsettling from that silly thought of that our morning guest could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet? Underneath the table? Behind the curtains? Where Ugly always hides? Tony, come here. I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but I still dragged them towards the hallway. A couple of policemen toured over me to the doorway. It smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw the patrol cars, worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello? The senior officer, who wore a grin expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name is Vaughn. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to him. This was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a smile. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window. Why would I see a random kid at my window? I just moved here. That's a little strange. That's right. Your windows look straight into the forest, don't they? The window? No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He scouted, tried, but his stares long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwanted underneath the weight of guilt, which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glared over the hallway and the stairs and the creaks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. What? Your phone. What? How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Bit by bit, it's just our little daughter missing the city a lot. Oh? Missing the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything is right, thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes. My head started to spin. Can I help? Can I help you somehow? I asked that in this shaky voice to look at the policeman to end the pleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy about your age, wears the same type of goggles. Haha, always encouraged in reading those mysterious novels. Told me he wants to enroll in the police school when his family visits this summer. Wanted to help out other people just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood in front of me. You know what, little boy? Like you should stay at home. Stay away from trouble. The times have changed, so would. My mom rejoiced in a cold voice. You don't say. Ah, well then. What grade are you in, Tony boy? 6th. Have you made any friends so far? Not yet. I've been going to school for the first time after the break. Then I'll leave you my number, just in case. Call me if you have any new info. The policemen were gone, along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne, and the photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes, wondering it was like for him being all alone there. For some reason, I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I gone missing? Would they cry, flash around hysterically, or would they excuse each other like they always do and forgot about me eventually? Mom, this Volan, did he go missing in the forest? Seems like he did, poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police UAV drove off towards the village. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off an old paint from the windowsill. I remember all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series. I remember read this summer. Your average boys and girls investigate all the sorts of mysteries there. They looked through clues, spines of suspicious people. After all, sets of amazing adventures. Bam! Solved any complicated case. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footsteps that led to the forest. And then clicked in my head. Why don't I start investigating on my own? Maybe I'll find the lost boy, and I'll get a reward. Oakley will be so happy. And not only Oakley, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they'll even forget about the quarries for a while. Maybe even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Oakley a Tamagotchi, I think, and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes. Oh, a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. Oh, sorry guys, wrong button. And a whole box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? Last autumn, I think my dad had lost his job at the time, and there was an annoying song about it. I had a little to no idea what was the announcement's job like. They count money, I think. Oh, accountant's job like. Okay. Neighbors used to envy us, but nowadays, my mom and Dad barely had any money to afford sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Oakley. Sometimes I gave her my share too. Well, that's sweet. Oh, that's nice. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just like a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the police to go around with your photograph? The forest is so thick. What if that boy got snatched up by wild animals or something worse? Even worse, echoes echoed through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said? Or should I repeat myself? Better go pack your school bag or play with Oakley. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It means the argument was over, and Mom had the last word. Wow, actually, I can do what I want. Now, this is what they mean by you could choose the storylines. This is actually really interesting. Well, I already had a fight with Mom, so I don't want to go into the kitchen. I'm gonna go open the door. The dark and sofa forest, a closet. What can I... Oh, there we go. Mom says it smells like mice, but how could she know their smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on the freshly sharpened axe. And Oakley can't be lured too close to touch her. She thinks Bambi is living in there. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp so she could see that there was nothing but cobwebs, Dad's tools, and stretched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I like to hide in the closet. Enlisted Oakley's count outside. 1, 2, better hide from me. Isn't she like 12? It's a little weird. And then she'd drag her feet on the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. Oh, okay. It's basically just telling me basically a little backstory of what each area is. Okay. Alright, that's pretty cool. Let's go in the kitchen. Alright, let's see what we got in here. I think that's an orange or a grapefruit. That looks like canned meat. Grandma kept ice cream for me and Oakley there, but now I could only see meat bits for soup and clumped together pelamin? Pelamin? That's weird. I grew up to hate them already. Maybe I can talk to Mom. Alright. It was difficult to lie to Mom, but there was no other way for me to run away from home. Wait, what? Mom! Something's wrong with the TV. The picture is dim, and there were stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly destroyed. Ah, you're killing me here. So have you had enough of shooting those stupid ducks now? Wait, what? Told you the knee scope will go dim because of the console. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole? Huh? Maybe it's just the settings. Please go see for yourself. Strange, it worked fine in the morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it. Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and then went to Oakley's room. I'm not sure. Wait, what is this? Senior. Oh, guys, I'm starting to think we're in Russia. Because as you can see, it says Vladimir Achar. And I'm pretty sure that's a Russian stuff. Let's save right here. Oh, there's a lot of save spots. Alright guys, before we go into the front yard, I'm going to call this episode 1. As as you can see, we already entered a jump scare, so we're kind of understanding what this kind of game is. So I will make another episode either on Monday or Wednesday, but please like, subscribe, and please follow. And this is Party Bear, and please have a good